Hi, how are we doing? Happy Friday. Hey, just want to try and give you guys an update of what's going on in the marketplace. So it's actually been a good week for the markets for lending world. So we had a couple indicators, CPI, Consumer Price Index, and the PPI, Producer Price Index, which is wholesale inflation. So one retail, one wholesale. Both came out good this week. So that actually has helped rates. Again, my industry, we the market moves in what's called basis points. And so 1 basis point is rather opposite. 100 basis points is equal to 1%. So, and rates move at about, an eighth in rate is about 50 basis points, round numbers. So, and we're up almost 200 basis points. Now, we've lost a little bit of that today on Friday, but Wednesday and Thursday were both very good days. So, I'm going to have Barry talk a little bit about that, kind of get you up to date. And then I've got some interesting information about the state of Oregon. So, listen to this, and then let's see where we go. Talk.
1%. So these are very low numbers. PPI is important because it does tend to lead the way. You'll see it here. PPI in orange leads the way for CPI. PPI in orange leads the way for CPI. PPI in orange leads the way for CPI. Do we get all the way to these numbers? Who knows? But it does tend to lead the way, and this portends some good news for us going forward. It's going to get hard to make these enormous gains like we've seen, especially next month based upon the comparisons. But the month-over-month prints seem to be getting better, 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 especially as we look at shelter costs. Now, we're going to get a good inflation report later on this month when we do get the PCE. Remember, that's similar time frame. It's also going to be for the month of June. It's just more delayed than the CPI and PPI numbers. So this should also be favorable. Bond market, hopefully, will remain on this roll, baby, roll.
Yeah, and Barry, we did hear from Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin yesterday, and he said that, hey, if you back off inflation, it'll come back in a big way, and he is all for continuing to hike, but he did not have the benefit of seeing this morning's inflation report, or I believe yesterday's inflation report, but boy, hard to argue that inflation is not coming down. But even in lieu of these inflation reports dropping significantly, they're going to hike again on July 26th. Question is what do they do at their September meeting? Right now, if you look at the Fed futures, they're pricing in about an 80% chance that they don't hike, but we'll have to see what the Fed does and says. Now, if we look at housing, we got some more good news today. Actually, yesterday, we got the Zillow Home Price Index, and this is for the month of June. And get this, it showed home prices rose by 1.4%, and that follows a 1.4% gain in May. If you look from the beginning of this year, Zillow's reporting that home prices are up 4.7%. If you were to go ahead and say, hey, based on this pace, what does that look like for the calendar year 2023? It would be 9.4%. Extremely strong. And one other thing that's very important, Zillow is reporting that now home values have eclipsed where they were in last year. So they are at a new all-time high. And if we take a look at this chart, you can see out of the five appreciation reports that we follow that are really the main ones out there, 3 of the 5 now showing all-time highs in home prices: FHFA, Black Knight, and Zillow. The one that's actually lagging the most behind is Case-Shiller, which isn't bad, but it's showing that home values are down 1.8% from the peak. But remember, Case-Shiller is looking the farthest back. Remember, Zillow here we just got for June. So as we get to some of these June numbers, wouldn't be surprised to see us close that gap, and in the coming months, see new all-time highs in home prices in the Case-Shiller report as well.
I guess you'd have to say, Dan, that housing is certainly on a roll as far as appreciation goes. We just wish we had more inventory.
Yes, it is.
We also got cash freight for the month of June.
All right, so good news. So we're finally moving in the directions we want. It's never a straight line. So just like today, we gave back some of what we gained in the last couple of days. We lost like 42 basis points today. So it's like a net 160 better for the week. So anyways, hopefully it helps all of us get some rates coming down, get people more active. So if you got people kind of sitting on the fence, might want to be talking to them and get them kind of prepped to look at getting some deals in the pipeline. So I also saw information today on how the foreclosures in the state of Oregon are up almost 100% year over year. Well, that's true. It's actually 99.08%, but we need to kind of take that with a grain of salt because, numbers can be massaged in all kinds of ways. State of Oregon is number 38 of all the states in the union with foreclosures, as far as the worst foreclosures. So there's 37 states worse than us. So as an example, Oregon had 1,298 foreclosures this last year, or from January to June. But you look at the number one, which was Illinois, 13,619. So that's like almost, we've got less than 1/10 of 1% of our homes in Oregon in foreclosure. It's like 7,000s of 7,000s. Yeah. So, watch what they're saying, because again, yes, it's up, but we had virtually nothing, like 600 last year. So, whereas again, you look at Illinois, again, it's like 13,000. Ohio was like 10,000. So, we're doing quite well. The housing market in Oregon is fantastic. So, anyways, hopefully that helps. Something to think about. We have a great renovation loan program. So if you've got people that are trying to buy and the house just is not up to snuff or just needs some TLC, we can help. So give me a call, 541-735-9857. Have a great day.